When you hear the stats of domestic violence, domestic abuse in Sonoma County, across the nation, you know that you're sitting with someone in a restaurant who's been a victim and a survivor. And I think as a mother, as a community member, I know when I'm on the baseball field with my kids, if I'm at a school meeting, one of those moms has been the survivor.
At the height of my physical abuse, the Family Justice Center had not yet opened. Domestic abuse and domestic violence can sort of morph into other forms. It's not always just physical. It's not one category. There's many, many different types of abuse.
There's a lot of elder abuse. There's a lot of financial abuse that goes on in the senior population. That is done by family because they take advantage. And that doesn't have a good feeling, but it's very common.
Men are victims also. I have friends, male friends, who are victims of domestic violence. It's different than with a woman, but it's just as constraining, just as difficult to deal with.
We have to evolve as citizens of Sonoma County to meet the needs of the different families that are living here.
I think those victims that are continually being victimized, if we can help them get out of that situation, then I think we're doing something very worthwhile.
The sense it was, before the Family Justice Center was formed, that people weren't getting the services they deserved because they had to try too hard and make too many trips to access those services.
Initially, when there was a victim of a violent crime or family violence, domestic violence, child abuse, elder abuse, they would have to travel all around the county to get services. And that can be really a burden for a family to take a bus across town for one item, to come to court for another. It wasn't serving victims in a way that really supported them in their healing and supported the process to hold the suspects accountable and really provide for the victims.
The idea behind the family justice system is to provide wraparound services to victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, elder abuse, and child abuse.
Sonoma County Sheriff's Office, the Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Unit, as well as Santa Rosa Police Department's Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Unit, was housed at the Family Justice Center on the second floor, and on the ground floor is where we had all the services for victims.
Someone at the police department had told me that to go to the Family Justice Center, which I did. And I finally made that decision, and I actually made the drive, and then I actually made myself go through the front door, which is a difficult and important step. But I remember to this day the feeling of those doors closing behind me and how it felt to know that there were police and sheriff upstairs, and the volunteer welcomed me in and validated the fact that I had actually done this, and they all walked me through everything so smoothly and nicely and appreciatively, but it was just sort of something that just sort of washed over me, that I hadn't felt that type of safety in many, many years.
What impresses me is that they have someone at the front desk who they call a navigator, and that navigator will determine what services someone might need, so that when they're then referred, they're not just referred to domestic violence. They might be referred to sexual assault or to legal aid, and that's what I appreciate about this, because there are all kinds of services for one family.
As a family walks in and they have experienced trauma, there is a comfortable place for the children. The parents can see the children as they're telling their story, but also not have the kids have access to hearing the story.
Family Justice Center is a special place for kids. We have the Redwood Children's Center, which is a forensic interview center just for children to tell their story. They only have to tell it once with a trained interviewer, and nobody will ask them again to explain what had occurred to them.
The design of the Family Justice Center included so much input from many, many people in the community. Victim advocates, service providers, all across the county. So we really designed it in a way that was really safe for the victims, that they had a safe place to come in, they could get the services they need, they didn't have to worry about what they said was being overheard or could be communicated to someone else. It was a safe environment, a safe place. They had contact with the detectives handling their case, as well as all the services right there at their fingertips.
The Family Justice Center serves anyone who lives in Sonoma County and has issues around domestic violence, sexual assault, elder abuse, or child abuse. The services are offered free. All you have to do is come in, tell us what we can do to assist, and we're here to help. We have advocates who are on site to provide assistance and begin advocacy services. We also have legal aid present to assist with any temporary restraining orders or child custody orders that are necessary. We have Catholic Charities is on site to assist with temporary legal status while the individual participates in the criminal justice system. And our law enforcement partners are on site to assist when the victim is ready to make a police report.
The Family Justice Center is providing resources, bringing the nonprofits together under one umbrella when you're working with the DA's office, the YWCA, Verity, and you know these people are in the community. There's also an immigration component, and that's times where our office may cross over as we're helping people with visas in our community, bring loved ones, to be together, reuniting families.
Additionally, we have a camp that we send kids to every summer called Camp Hope. We send about a dozen kids up into the mountains. They come out of homes where there is domestic violence, and they get to spend a week just being kids and having a whole lot of fun.
Camp Hope is a great service because it provides a respite for the children who are often indirectly the victims of domestic violence. They're dealing with a home life that is shattered by that violence, and it gives them a place where they can go out and relate to kids that have been through similar experiences and learn to grow and interact with their peers and hopefully regain a little bit of the normalcy that we expect all children to have.
Camp Hope is fabulous. That is so the best thing. Because here you've got kids who kind of like to play outside in the woods, and it is wonderful. The kids go, they get to know each other. It's a totally safe place. And they've all had similar to or the same experience in their young lives. And they're perfectly safe there. And it's a language that they all understand. It's the best. Their little faces just beam. You can't do anything but love Camp Hope. And it really is a Camp Hope.
Money for social services is less available now than it was in the past. When I saw the good that can be done by offering services in this way, I thought, I need to be a part of this. I need to contribute because I know my dollars are going to be making a difference here.
Very excited to be not only a board member of the Family Justice Center, but to be an investor. I know one of the things when I started the foundation is we wanted to elevate models that could be replicated and that other people could use in their communities. And the Family Justice Center, this one-stop shop that our families can walk in and know they are going to be taken care of and all their resources are under one roof, was very, very important to us.
Being out in the community, you always hear stories about the Family Justice Center, and they don't always know you're part of the Family Justice Center, but you kind of hold that in your heart and go, I'm glad I'm doing something. I'm glad the Family Justice Center is here. Or maybe you hear a conversation and you're able to go, have you checked out the Family Justice Center? Have you heard about what they're doing? And just reminding people that there's this little secret in the community called the Family Justice Center, and there's all these resources here. They just have to come through the door. And once you come through those doors, it's like you're being wrapped in a hug. They're here to help, and that's all it is. And I love that, and I love being part of that.
Family Justice Center is like a jewel in our community. It is so valuable and it affects so many people. We literally change people's lives. They walk in as one person and walk out as another. It is a wonderful, fulfilling feeling. And I don't wish people to have a difficult time in their lives, but boy, this is the place to come if you need some help.
These are our neighbors. These are our friends. These are our community members.
To actually see what's happened 3 years down the road after that part of their life is they've been able to get past that, and there's a lot of success, and families feeling like they finally have a life.
So when I see somebody come in looking burdened, literally leaning over, bearing the burden of whatever has happened to them, and then when I see them leave, they're standing tall, they usually have a smile on their face, and they know that there is hope in their future. It's really nice to know that we're making a difference.
The services provided by the center are not, there's not a cost to the people that come through the door. As president of the foundation board, our job is to raise the money to help underwrite those costs, and that's the purpose of the foundation. We raise money to provide those services, so we pay the dollars it takes to keep the YWCA, keep Verity, to keep all these other ancillary organizations that provide services here so they're represented at the site, which truly makes it a one-stop shop.
Remember how important, how impactful you can be by supporting the Family Justice Center, supporting victims and families of victims, supporting people who have been put in situations through no fault of their own often, and can really be helped through your support.
Probably the person sitting next to you today has experienced their own form of domestic violence or domestic abuse. And if you were to share any of your gifts or talents or treasures with the Family Justice Center, I would urge you to do it, because it's what is best for our community. It's best for the person that you love, and it's best for the person that you haven't met yet.
The Family Justice Center can't exist without the donations of people like you in the community. Whether it's your giving of your time, giving of your services, giving of your good words to spread what we're doing and how we help people. But really, the only way that we can keep it going and keep it thriving is with the good work and good donations from people just like you. So we all have good intentions, and let's make it into a check form. So please, reach into your heart and reach into your wallet and donate to the Family Justice Center. Thank you.